everyone, my name is Tomco and today I'm showing you how to build a double piston extender for pretty much any circumstance. Alright, so the way this video is going to work is I'm first going to teach you what these things are, how exactly they work, and then we're going to be looking at the more useful designs, which I guarantee you'll find one you like. So the way a double piston extender, or DPE if you want to be short and fancy, works is pretty simple. All it does is move a block by 2 blocks one way and then 2 blocks back. So it can go upwards, downwards, leftwards and rightwards. So upon extension, what happens is we first power this block, we then power the first sticky piston, and just like that we get given our extension. If you watch closely, you'll see the block has moved 2 blocks to the right. Then when we want to retract it, we first unpower this first sticky piston, unpower the last one, pulling that sticky piston back, then we send a short pulse into this middle one, pulling our block back fully. And just like that, you have yourself a working DPE. It's just you have to do it by hand. So in front of me is a really simple setup. We have this repeater right here that's set to 3 ticks. We have 6 ticks worth of delay going into this middle sticky piston and 0 ticks going into the end block. So when we flip the lever, it all extends. Nice. We flick it again and it all gets retracted in. Now just in case you're not too fond of redstone, let's slow it down a bit and take a closer look. So upon extension, we first power that first block. Then a little bit later we power the back sticky piston, and then just a little bit after that we power the second repeater in the middle column. For now that does absolutely nothing, but it will come to use during retraction. So when we want to retract it, we first unpower that redstone line, we then unpower the back sticky piston, then for a short period of time, whilst that repeater is still on in the middle, it sends a short pulse into the sticky piston, and that's what gives us our final retraction. But instead of just using repeaters, we can also use observers for our final bit of retraction. So if we fly up into the sky, you'll be able to see that upon retraction, once the repeater behind the observer turns off, it sends a pulse into the observer which triggers that sticky piston, pulling our block back. Now the reason I'm showing you this is because the majority of my designs will end up using observers, so I think it's important that you actually know what's going on. So now you know all the basics, let's take a closer look at some. So to begin with, we're going to be taking a look at some universal designs, which if you don't know what they mean, they work in any orientation and any direction, it doesn't matter, the redstone stays the same. Then we're going to switch it up to horizontal only, then take a look at upwards only, and then finally downwards only. So let's start off with the universal ones. So here it is, with the press of a button it extends, and then it quickly retracts. That is the only downside of this one, is that it cannot stay extended. And that's just because we're using this observer here, and when observers are pushed, they only send out a short pulse. But obviously the best part of these isn't how simple it is the fact that it can be used in any orientation. So over here, this is an upwards one, and this right here is a downwards one. As long as the observer is facing the right way, and you activate these bottom sticky pistons at the same time, it'll work no matter what in any direction. So just to clarify, I won't be doing block by block tutorials on any of these since they are way too simple. Instead, there'll be a short video at the end of each section, so you can pause the video here, copy the one you want to build into your world. I'll also throw in arrows to all the observers so you know what orientation to place them in. And just so you know, the red dot is at the front of the observer and the face is at the back, so the arrow will go from the face to the dot. Now let's take a look at some horizontal designs. So starting off, we have probably the simplest design of this entire video, as look how simple it is to extend and retract. It's just so cute. But it may be small, but it definitely isn't perfect. If you wanted this thing to be flush, it is not possible. And what flush means is that all the redstone can be hidden away behind a wall. And since this one isn't flush, we can't do that. In fact, if you try to add a wall here, you'll see that both the lever and this redstone dust kinda gets in the way. So let me show you some actually flush ones, starting off with the one right behind me. So when we flip the lever, it extends, and then we can retract it just like so. And this time, you can actually have a wall here, and have all the redstone hidden away. Look at that, it just pops up out of nowhere. And if you actually look closely, the redstone here does the exact same thing as this one. I've just moved everything behind the wall so it can be flush. But quickly moving on, we have this design. So if you look, you can close it and open it, and just like that one over there, you can be flush away behind the wall. But unlike that one over there, it is much simpler to build, and it is also 1 block wide. But what is really cool about this design though is that you can actually expand it up until 14 blocks long. So if you take a look, it all extends, and we can do it again, and the massive wall of blocks retracts away. It's pretty awesome to look at. I would imagine this will make a really cool hidden drawbridge. But anyways, pause the video here at the one you wish to build. But moving swiftly on, let's take a look at some upwards extenders. So these guys actually pop up out of the ground. So if you flick it, it extends, and if you flick it again, it retracts. But moving on, we have all the actual flush designs. So when we flick it, it extends, and if you look closely, it's actually this redstone torch here, which is activating this block, which in return activates this sticky piston, giving ourselves our final extension. That's how we've done it, so it's all hidden away under the floor. Then, upon retraction, it does the same thing as every other extender. I'm sure you're tired of me saying the word extender by now. I apologize. But if you like your things to be small, I recommend you build this one, as this is by far the smallest of them all. It does the same thing though, it extends and it retracts, just a little bit differently since we're relying on observers to actually do the pulses. So if speed is your thing, go with this one, but if compactness is your thing, go with this one. But if you're looking for an expandable design, I have the perfect one for you. So just like the others, it extends and retracts. Of course, you've seen that millions of times, but unlike the others, you can actually expand it by tiling multiple of these next to each other. So when we flick it, a wall of blocks goes up, and we flick it again and a wall of blocks go down. And if you're wondering what the mammoth use of target blocks is, that's simply to redirect the redstone so we can actually build multiple of these in a row. If you look over here, this redstone has to activate this block, which activates this sticky piston, but if these target blocks were regular blocks, the redstone slides right past it, which is not good. Hence the need of the target blocks. So once again, pause the video at the one you want to copy. Just taking extra care this time, as if you want to make it expandable, make sure to swap out the necessary blocks for target blocks. And lastly, let's take a look at some downward designs. So here's the first one. It goes down nicely, and of course it goes upwards nicely, but once again, it is unfortunately not flush due to this singular redstone torch on the side. But I suppose it can still make a pretty cool hidden crafting table for the one person out there that wants one of those. But then believe it or not, we only have one other design for downwards extenders, since I'm pretty sure this is the best one you can build. No, it may not be the smallest, but it's just so simple, I wouldn't recommend you build any others. And of course, you can also make it expandable. So here's a 4 block long version. We flick this lever, it gets pushed down. We flick it again, it gets pulled up. Bravo. And for the last time, pause the video here at the one you wish to build. And so that is all the builds done, but let me quickly show you how to move your input in case you don't want it levitating in midair. Not exactly ideal, that is it? So all you have to do is define your input block, which I marked with the red wall, and simply wire a repeater going into that red block, just like so. You then add a redstone wire going away from the repeater, connect it to your lever, and just like so, you have yourself a moved input. Perfect. You can move it downwards if you wanted to, and if it goes past 15 blocks, by the way, all you have to do is wire it up into another repeater. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Repeater here. We can then extend it further on, just like so. But anyways, that is the tutorial done. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comment section below, or join the Discord server. That is by far the best place to contact me. But that's all from me, and I'll see you all later. Bye!